everybody, what's going on? Jerome here, and I have for you guys an awesome new Bloons Tower Defense 5 Deluxe gameplay, and this one is how you can beat the map poolside on easy, or pool table I should say. So now, pool table is actually a really interesting map just because of the way that the balloons spawn in. The way it works is, now if you follow the pineapple, anything that spawns in that pocket, or that pocket is trying to make all these different fancy loop-de-loops to confuse you and end up in this pocket as their end zone. Any kind of balloons that come out of this pocket, however, are trying to loop all the way around. They go about like this, and they try and make it up in this pocket over here. So now the reason why I chose this map mostly is because of how confusing it is, and I know you're thinking, well, Jerome, you just explained it pretty easily, it doesn't seem that bad. The problem is when there's so many balloons coming at you at once from 3 different pockets simultaneously, that's when things get confusing. You kind of lose track of which balloons are going where, and it basically just makes the entire situation extremely confusing and I guess you could say inconvenient in some ways. But luckily, I'll show you guys a way that you can kind of disregard all of that and kind of make it a lot easier on yourself. And that is through the use of monkey apprentices. On this map, monkey apprentices are going to be your best friends, and you're going to set them up one over here and one where I'd set it up at the very beginning of the game. I'm going to hold off on that one. But the reason you're going to put them there is because basically every single balloon, no matter which pocket it's going to, no matter where it started, anything like that, must at least make one loop around these 2 circles. So I found that after playing for a while, even though it's kind of like their patterns I don't know exactly per pocket because I haven't paid that much attention to it, but what I do know is that no matter what, they will circle these. So you want to put your most powerful units there and one that can kind of hit all of them at once. That's why you put your monkey apprentice there, because what you can do is if you set them both up there, give them both lightning ability, they'll be able to hit pretty much anything that comes their way, and it kind of gives you that upper hand on them. So now watch that we have that. Basically no balloon is going to be able to get past me because as it goes to make their loop, it's going to get hit basically. And when you have one at the bottom there functioning at the same time, that's when things start to get a little bit intense, I guess you could say, and a little easy for you. A lot easier for you actually compared to beforehand. So now you're probably wondering, what do I do after that? After you put the 2 monkey apprentices, you can kind of go through your strategy like normal. Maybe you want to put down for yourself a glue gunner. I'm going to actually personally use glue gunner and then end up going to super monkey after that. And if you're wondering why, it's just because I fucking love the super monkey, and because the super monkey actually is very powerful in this map. The reason being because when they're circling around here, that means that every single balloon has one basic place where no matter what, they will make contact. That is, if you put a super monkey here, no matter what, you'll be able to hit every single balloon no matter where it actually is to spawn in. So that's the whole purpose of that, and that's why I would do it that way. But that's what I'm going to do though. So I'm going to put a glue gunner right here, super monkey right here, and that should work to your advantage. You can also, of course, put monkey villages on either here or here, and that would work just fine too. And there is something you should know. Obviously, if you feel like it, you can put different types of towers over here on the side. The problem with this is that it won't be able to hit every target. Like, there won't be an opportunity all the time for it. So I would put them in places that you can pretty much hit every target. Like, you're guaranteed to at least make contact with all of them once. That's what I would do personally. You never have to follow me word for word or anything like that. You can you obviously have the freedom to do whatever you want, but I'm just suggesting these things to you because I've learned from experience that this is the easiest way to beat it. Now, once I'm done beating all the new missions on easy mode that came with Bloons Tower Defense 5 Deluxe, I'll start making them on medium, and then move on to hard and things like that, and I'll also be doing cool kind of drops and different types of awesome gameplays along the way, so hopefully that's something that you guys can look forward to. I know I personally will, and I may start playing a little more Bloons Tower Defense 5, just so I can play the daily challenges that came with that game, and that way I can kind of help you guys out a little bit with making videos about that, because I used to love doing that for that game, so that's always fun. Now, don't forget to get your Camo upgrade for your monkey apprentice before it's a little too late. That way he can actually hit the balloons, and you know, once it become Camo, you don't got to worry about that till about mid-25s. You know, mid-20s, I should say, so around round 25, that's when you should probably start worrying about that. But until then, you're pretty much safe, so you don't have to worry too much about it. Now, once again, you have a lot of freedom. Personally, I'm just going to throw it on a monkey engineer, as weird as that sounds, just because I love using the monkey engineer, and I haven't really used him in a while, so I kind of want to make this gameplay a little diversified. Plus, I figured if you guys are going to watch Bloons Tower Defense 5 Deluxe, you don't just want to see a new map, you probably want to see a little bit more behind it, maybe some of the gameplay, and I don't know, personally, I find it a little bit of fun, so I'm just going to set up this way. The cool part about the engineer is just that he can make so many of these sentries that he actually ends up doing a ridiculous amount of damage if you think about it. It's kind of like, at this point in time, the equivalent of having six, what are they called? 6 dart monkeys that have maybe their triple ability, so they're throwing 3 hours at a time. It's kind of like that. And even though it's only shooting one, like 1 bullet per sentry, I say that, like, and I make it that equivalent, I guess you could say, to that, just because of the amount of damage it does, because it has a heavy pop. It can pop, I think, like 5-6 layers or something like that, so it pretty much has that same ability. So it's very, very powerful, and something that you guys should probably invest in if you get the chance in this game. Alright, so our setup's doing pretty good for us now. Remember, try and save up as much money as possible and only really build when you see that it's necessary. Although, you should get a tiny bit of a jump, I should say. But make sure you have enough for a rainy day. That's always a good thing to do. Make sure you have enough to, just in case something is to go wrong, you can kind of turn that whole situation around and hopefully make something good out of it. So I did just upgrade full 3 to the left that time. That's so that I can kind of hit the camo balloons and lead balloons that pass by, because so many damn lead balloons were making their way past these sentry turrets. It kind of started to make me a little angry. So I just want to kind of set it up like that. And instead of using the glue gunner, I might just set up 2 of these sentry turrets on each side. I think that that might be a better idea for me. So let's put another one right here. This one I'm going to set up to hit lead balloons just to make sure that I can actually pop them all whenever they try and run through either side. So there we go. We need another $500 just about so we can get that. But that isn't that much money because we're starting near into the 40s. And around 40 is right when you start making some of the big bucks, I should say. And around 45 to 50 are when things just start going completely insane and they give you a ton of money for a little tiny bit of work. There we go. Those are the lead balloons that are trying to sneak through now that are kind of, I guess you could say, causing trouble for me, which is why I had to start making the ones that can shoot out the goo. The monkey engineers that shoot out goo, if you didn't know, that takes off every power, including regen abilities. It'll take off lead balloons. It'll take off camo. It really gets rid of any single kind of special power-up that you can imagine. So that's why I like setting them up. Now, the main strategy when using monkey engineers such as this is basically just to overwhelm them. As long as you keep building a bunch of them, you kind of make it a little unfair for them, because at the current point in time now, I have about 20 turrets going at any given time, so it's kind of a little bit difficult, I guess you could say, for the game to keep up with that. I mean, this setup right now alone could probably make it to around 46, but now you're starting to get enough money that you can start saving up for maybe a super monkey, getting yourself prepared for that, and that's when things are really going to start going in your favor, even more so than now. But just take a look at that, how much the engineers are doing. The only thing I will say that's kind of sad is that I don't think the engineers get points for what their sentry turrets do. They may, but I'm not positive on it. So that's one thing that I will say is a little bit sad. I don't know for sure though, so don't hold me to that, I guess you could say. There we go. Now, it may seem like you can't place a super monkey in the center. You can, you just have to put it a little bit off-center, as weird as that sounds, to try and hang him off the bottom edge a little bit. That's where you can place him. I'm not sure why. It's just kind of the way, I guess, he's facing. It would change. Notice how when he's facing that way, it looks like he's hanging off of the top edge a tiny bit. So it's really the way in which he's facing. But just make sure, you just so you know, you can put him there. You just have to kind of toggle him around and experiment to see where he fits best and everything like that. So here we go. We're on round 45 now, and this is the rounds 45 to 50 is where things start to turn in your favor because you start getting a ton of money, everything like that. But in turn for that, level 46 has 1 MOAB balloon and level 50 has 2 of them. So be sure to be ready to take out those MOAB balloons. Alone with the setup without the super monkey, you should be fine. But if you are to get plasma blast on that super monkey, you are definitely more than ready to take on anything that comes your way. And hopefully by the end of this level, you'll have close enough to get that. Maybe not exactly, but definitely close. And now take a look at that right there. That MOAB balloon served, or I shouldn't say served no purpose, but it pretty much had no chance at all of surviving that. And now with that laser plasma blast upgrade, things are really starting to get a little crazy. Now notice how those camo balloons pretty much didn't hurt me at all, and it was mostly due to the fact that with that goo it allowed them to remove the camo from them, and the monkey apprentices are always able to fight them, so the combination of the two of them made it so that no camo balloons really can make it past us, and that's one thing that's really good to have, because around 47, I think it was around 47, yeah, that was the last round, around 47 is where a ton of camo balloons come in, and I think around 49 a couple do, I'm not sure though, not too many though. I was under a false impression last time I made a video when I said 49 49, a ton of them came in. I guess I just made a simple mistake. I must have been, well, it was 3 in the morning when I had practiced it the night before, so, I mean, that could probably account for it. But anyway, guys, you have a nice setup here. You don't have to get the Robo Monkey, which is 3 upgrades to the right on a Super Monkey, but definitely try and build a second one in there, just so you can get that added protection. Trust me, you don't need it at all, but it's definitely good to get it just in case. You never want to be too overly confident with it. But anyway, guys, it looks like that's going to be the last balloons we have to pop, so thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to subscribe and check out my other content, and I hope to see you guys around a lot more. Thank you, guys. Good night.